Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by BASF, where you can count on the trusted performance of Allivo seed treatment to protect your soybean crop. Powered by Soy Biodiesel, made my way down to the Farm Science Review. It's the final day of setup, and we feed the exhibitors today lunch, our midday today, all thanks to Holman Incorporated. Tuesday, we'll hear from the folks at Ag Credit. Wednesday, the folks from Ag Revolution. And Thursday, an update from the folks at Wilmington College. It's a busy time at the Farm Science Review. Come out and see us. Well, the World Ag Supply and Demand numbers came out on Friday. Let's go to the livestock side of things. There's more on the grain side on OhioAgNet.com. Beef production in 2025 declined by 100 million pounds as both fed and non-fed slaughter speeds are expected to continue to decline through the year's end. The projected quarterly steer prices were bullish for the market as steers are expected to be $2 to $5 higher over the next year. The pork production also looks to be 180 pounds lower as processing speeds are expected to trend lower through the end of the year, and dressed weights have declined as well. The quarterly price projections for 25 and 26 are supportive as well, as hogs are expected to average $65 to $70. Today's weather brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Here's the forecast.
Dry weather setting up for most of the week here in Ohio. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at that forecast update. No major changes in thought process here as we move through the week. All moisture from today right on through Thursday, Friday is going to stay well to our west. Activity really ramping up in the Great Plains and Western Corn Belt. I don't think we see any threat of moisture here until we get well into the weekend. The 20th, we're going to be seeing showers trying to develop to our west in parts of Indiana. For the 21st, Sunday, hit-and-miss scattered showers coming first into northwest Ohio, then spreading across the rest of the state. Another round of moisture into Monday the 22nd. Combined over the two-day stretch, Sunday and Monday, I think we're going to be looking at anywhere from 1/4 to 1.5 inches, coverage at around 75% of the Buckeye State. The rest of next week is slightly cooler and drier, but not cold. We're not looking at below normal temperatures, just pulling temperatures back a little bit, and we stay dry from next Tuesday right on through Friday and Saturday. The weekend of the Sunday 28th time frame into Monday the 29th, we have another round of shower and thunderstorm action coming in that can be anywhere from 1/4 to 1 inch across the Buckeye State. So timely rains, yes, I think we have some of those, but in between, significant dry down will happen each of the next 2 weeks. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Joining me, Blair Nyhauser, and he's Vice President of Sales for FBI Buildings, and you'll be able to find out more about our conversation at FBIBuildings.com. Blair, tell us more about what this big, beautiful bill that we've heard so much about for a long time period, what does it mean for agricultural buildings and rural buildings?
One of the big ones is bringing back bonus depreciation. Think about a tax incentive that farmers can now take advantage of when they invest in a building, they possibly buy some equipment. We hope they make the choice to build a building, but they get to write that entire expense off in the year they put that equipment into service. So you think about the potential tax implications even for this year, that really alters compared to what would have been before this legislation got passed. There's some real benefits for ag farmers and how they manage their business. There's a couple other ones. They've changed some of the state tax limit and where they've set some of those, which will really help families as they plan for the future and the next generation. And I think that creates a lot more dependability and flexibility in how they manage their farms and how they invest in it, knowing how some of that's going to get transferred and some of the tax benefits and where they set those asset limits. They've even changed some of the insurance for farmers as they think about bringing dependable revenue to their farm operation. That's gotten really overhauled in a much better way. And so I think there's some really good things, whether it's building a new building, investing in new equipment, buying more land, figuring out how do you transition this farm to the next generation. There's a lot of things that are now really in the corner of a farmer.
Blair, did I understand you correctly? When we talk about a building, it's got to be built to be considered put in service, so we've got to have it up and done by the end of December?
Getting that done, that's where we come in, and I think where we really shine.
Blair, thanks for the update. And again, if you want more details, it's FBIBuildings.com. Blair, thanks again for the update. Let me go back to that World Ag Supply and Demand estimate for just a minute. It looks like USDA unexpectedly increased the amount of corn, pushing it to a projected 16.814 billion bushels, even though USDA dropped the yield by 2.1 bushels per acre to 186.7. USDA offset the lower yield by again increasing planted acres and expected harvested acreage. And again, we'll have more on that online at ohioagnet.com. The farm gate price for corn was $3.90 a bushel, the same as August. And it looks like the national farm gate price for soybeans declined by a dime to put it at $10. And on the wheat side of things, the farm gate price of $5.10 a bushel is a drop from $5.30 last month.
Joining me at the 2025 Farm Science Review, Nick Zacharich, and things are pretty well set up. It's the final day of setup here review. Weather looks perfect. Nick, what are some new things we might be able to check out while we're here? Besides new equipment, there's always new equipment. That's right. There's always new equipment. There's some new exhibitors with some equipment coming in. There's also new exhibitors that have a lot of different services and things like that. So everybody's excited about technology. Not everybody's excited about using it on the farm just yet, but someday there may be coming some technology to your farm and you want to check it out and see what's going to be new. Autonomy, AI is a big topic right now. Spray drones are still a very hot topic. When can we use those? What timing is best for certain applications? And how does it expand our windows? How does it help us out on our bottom line? There's a lot of things about that too.
And we can find a lot of that at Ask the Experts at OSU Extension all 3 days.
Yep, all 3 days. And Ag Innovations demonstrations will have a lot of that in action too. So the exhibitors that are bringing some of those things are going to have those there. So Dr. John Fulton, he's one of the professors in the Food, Ag, and Biological Engineering Department, that he's going to be leading those efforts out there. The actual set time is 12:30 to go see those things each day. But they do have some things that you can go out informally to ask some questions before that and after that. And that's at the same time, pretty much our other demonstrations. So we have some tillage and harvesting still, of course. So
okay, so we're going to make it. That's been the question on the road for the last couple of weeks. Will the crops be far enough along to harvest?
Yeah, our farm manager Nate's been doing a great job. He has the fields opened up and ready to go. So we're excited to have some combines running out there for both corn and soybean harvest. Some things that are going to be a little different this year. There's going to be some things at the edge of the field so you can see maybe what's going on in the technology in the cab from the field edge. So it's just a little bit easier for farmers to be able to see what's going on. So you don't have to be actually in the captain's seat to be able to see what's going on those screens. Because we all know as a combine operator, anybody that's operating combines out there, there's a lot of screens, a lot of things to see, a lot of information. But what else is there in these new combines but some automation that is going to allow the combine to speed up and slow down on its own? So some of the manufacturers are really stepping up what that ability is. Some of it's even the machines we have seats in them still. And autonomy for the settings and some of the things that it just makes it a little more stressful for the operator. You have to speed up and slow down. It's going to vary a little bit. So when you need to speed up and slow down, the combine's going to do it on its own.
Remind everybody, how big is the inside display lot before you go off site to other things, to other locations?
Yep. So just inside the fence, we have 100 acres. Some of that's ride and drive space too. So out by our parking lot, there's some ride and drive opportunities with some of the manufacturers. So you can check those things out. But then also, we have 2.4 million square feet of actual displays. So if you take out all the streets and the things that are not displays, 2.4 million square feet of actual displays.
And there's 3 full days at the Gwinn Conservation Area. And if you want to know anything about conservation, there's somebody there to ask and tickled to death to tell you about it.
That's right. We have great partners over there too. We have a committee that's not just Ohio State employees. We also work with ODNR, Soil and Water, NRCS, a lot of different groups that, of course, have things to do with natural resources, the programs in place that landowners and farmers can work with to do certain things. So some of those conservation practices. So all those experts are over there. There's 67 acres of basically demonstrations.
Nick Zacharich, my guest. This is a 2025 Ohio Farm Science Review.
Stay tuned, back with more after this.
Biodiesel isn't just a fuel, it's a game changer for your engine, your wallet, and your farm. Cleaner burning and efficient, biodiesel enhances engine life, power, and fuel economy. Plus, it delivers real value, adding $1.33 to every bushel of soybeans grown. That's 13% more value per bushel, directly tied to the biofuels market. Ready to turn soybeans into power and drive with purpose? Learn how at soyohio.org.
Get ready for the 63rd Annual Farm Science Review, September 16th through the 18th near London, Ohio. Explore hundreds of exhibits, field demonstrations, and educational sessions. Get pre-sale discounted tickets at participating OSU Extension offices, agribusinesses, or online at fsr.osu.edu. Plan your trip with the digital directory and mobile app, and follow Farm Science Review on social media. Don't miss the 63rd Farm Science Review, September 16th through the 18th.
Today's market analysis is brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company, excited to be building the newest state-of-the-art soybean crush facility in Upper Sandusky, Ohio. For marketing information of your beans to LDC, call 574-566-2113. Now with our analysis, here's Ryan Martin.
Grain markets finished mostly higher after a surprisingly bearish crop report out of USDA. The surprise, I guess, was A, the fact that the markets did trend higher after mostly negative numbers came out in the USDA report. But secondly, some of the things that were in the report themselves were just baffling. Let's go to the corn one first of all. Corn supply and demand balance sheet hit with a surprise planted acres adjustment. Now USDA says we planted 98.7 million acres of corn. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. All right, I guess I'm not here to debate that. What I'm here to debate is why the hell is it taking till September 12th for you to figure out that number? All right, there's been plenty of reports before now. Why is it taking to this point to do that? The National Ag Statistics Service also found 200,000 additional acres of planted soybeans just a month after we took it down by 2 million acres. Come on, guys, can you count or not? That's the question here at this point. The additional report surprises came on the soybean balance sheet side of things. On the balance sheet, exports were dropped only 20 million bushels. So even though we had more production out there, we're only dropping the exports 20 million bushels, despite the fact that we've lost 400 to 450 million bushels of sales to China up to this point. And then on top of that, go back to the corn. The corn, we had the yield dropped as expected, but not really down too far. Down only 2.1 bushels the acre from August due to mostly August dryness. So this is a big deal here. USDA missing it, I think, on several fronts. What baffles me is the numbers overall were bearish. Why did the market jump higher? It can't have been buy the rumor, sell the fact. I'm expecting a very squirrely session to start the week here today, potentially a squirrely week of sessions all week long. I'm Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Back with more after this. The Ohio's Country Journal sweepstakes are back. 4 winners will receive a $250 Visa gift card. Subscriptions are still free, but we must have a new request on file from subscribers every 3 years. Come renew or subscribe at the Farm Science Review, and you'll meet that September 20th deadline to be entered. If you've already subscribed since January 1, 2025, you're automatically already entered. Good luck, everyone.
Get the equipment and trucks you need at Ritchie Brothers' next Great Lakes regional event on September 25th and 26th. This absolute unreserved auction will feature online bidding, and items are located in Columbus, Chicago, and Detroit. Choose from close to 4,000 items, including a wide selection of construction equipment, truck tractors, and more. Don't miss Ritchie Brothers' Great Lakes regional event on September 25th and 26th. For more details, visit rbauction.com. Again, that's rbauction.com.
Sold them. Today's market is brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Overnight at the open, we give back a little on corn and beans so far. December corn down 2 3/4 at 4.27 1/4 cent. March down 2 1/2 at 4.44 3/4, and May down 2 3/4 at 4.54 1/4 cent. November beans down 3 1/4 at 10.43. January down 3 1/2 at 10.61 3/4, and next March down 3 1/2 at 10.76 3/4. December wheat up 1/4 cent at 5.23 3/4. Next March unchanged at 5.41. In livestock, October cattle on Friday down $2.30 at 229.97. December down 2.20 at $231.92, and February down $2.02 at $233.22. Feeder cattle, October down $6.55 to $345.80. November feeder cattle down $7.22 at $343.25, and January feeder cattle down $7.32 to $337.17. The October lean hogs were down $1.05 at 97.12. December down 62 cents at 88.62. And February down 20 cents at $90.37. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dale Menia. We'll see you one of the next 3 days at the Farm Science Review. This is the Ohio AgNet.